Hello there, and a happy new year. A happy 2010. I know I look like death warmed up, but it's New Year's Day. I didn't go out last night much, or we went to a friend's house, my sister and her partner and I. Our friends fell asleep at 9:30. So we went back to my sister's house, and she fell asleep at 11, and so I went back home. And I watched the fireworks over London on the television, and then I fell asleep. So, not a huge night, still very tired for some reason. But I thought it would be a good idea just to bang out a quick video since it's been a while. And I'll be a little bit lazy, because there isn't a great deal of time, because, as any British geek will tell you, Doctor Who is on today. It's the finale, or the kickoff of the next season, whichever way you want to look at it. And we're transitioning from Doctor number 10 to Doctor number 11, and so I have to be there to watch that. But anyway, I'm going to be slightly lazy because I did a blog post which I think is quite good for those of you who, like me, have decided on big things for 2010. Whether they be big personal things, like for me, losing some of my personal bigness, or whether they be work or academic or family. Most of us have got some campaign that we are thinking about starting now and carrying through. So I thought I would do a bit of a blog about goal setting and what I think it really takes, beyond what people tell you so often at this time of year. It's about short steps, achievable goals, not putting too much pressure on yourself, etc., etc. I have a little different idea, and I want to share those with you. I will say this: if you want to read it in its entirety, I will give you the link at the end. But I will, I think, give you a couple of the points, the principles. At this time of year, there are loads of these how-to guides to being brilliant for the next year. So I throw my hat into the ring here because it's topical, but also because this is something that I'm working on for myself. So you may be my first field test of at least some of these principles. Most of what I write is generally healthy mental exercise for you to try whatever you're trying to do this year. Even if you have no specific resolutions or goals at this point, you may in the future. And I think this will help. You'll hear me referring to things like achieving great things or the attempt to be brilliant. And I know that these terms can be relative. I know that some people have different ideas of what it means to be great. But with these principles combined, I think that you can achieve a standard that would be great or brilliant compared to the majority. I'm definitely going to use some examples from my past, and also the specific challenge of weight loss, because that seems to be relevant at this time of year. And I will say, again, it's very relevant for me. So here's the first one. The first principle. I will say that the first two actually are not, strictly speaking, mine. They were written on their inscriptions on the Oracle at Delphi, because, as I've already described, I'm a bit of a geek. So the first one is, know thyself. The first principle for a better you. Know thyself. Take a day or two and do what I call a pragmatic self-assessment. Doing this, logging your strengths and your weaknesses, your values, your personal convictions, your deepest desires and wishes, the things that on a daily basis you just don't think deep enough about. This goes a long way to knowing what personal resources you'll have at your disposal to achieve what you plan, and I think more importantly, you will know what personal weaknesses you have that might hold you back, or might be waiting in the shadows to ambush you. We all have our kryptonite. That's the reality. Mine is baked goods. For other people, it's something different. When I first started to play basketball, I carried out a pragmatic self-assessment, and I realized that intrinsically, I'm not that interested in tedious, hard manual labor, which I know can seem like a downer for an athlete. But knowing this meant that I chose to live 500 meters away in America from my personal trainer, who I had also chosen due to my pragmatic self-assessment, to be a man that I knew wasn't a screamer and a shouter, but a person who I would never want to disappoint. So my pragmatic self-assessment helped me in success from the very beginning. The second principle for a better you is also on the Oracle at Delphi, and it is nothing too much. It's a rare person indeed who can change every old habit, every thought process, every emotional entanglement, or whatever it is you have going on for you right now in a single moment. Nothing too much means not trying to achieve everything in the shortest time or in a single stroke in this context. If it's weight you're looking to lose, we all know the equation. Take in less calories than you burn. It's simple. But if you aim to lose all the weight you need to or want to in the shortest time, this will demand levels of discipline, effort, sacrifice that are unsustainable for most people, not to mention levels of weight loss and possible nutritional deficits that are unhealthy. As with all change, there is bound to be discomfort. But pain, whether it be psychological, emotional, or physical, is nearly always a bad sign. And I think it's a sign of eventual, inevitable failure. People generally aren't wired to experience pain for extended periods of time. And if your resolution, if your goal demands that, eventually something will have to give. So here's my third principle for a better you. Be bold. I know it seems strange because I've just said nothing too much, and that advice comes from the gods, at least the Greek ones. But Goethe, a philosopher, said, boldness has genius, power, and magic within it. And he's so right. Even if New Year's resolutions are just accidents of the calendar, why not use this moment to examine yourself and make a bold, specific statement about what you want to achieve in 2010 and beyond? What you want to achieve, over what time period, and how you're going to go about it. Not get in shape. Because frankly, that statement has as much boldness that it couldn't make you want to fart, really, could it? But really think and set a goal. There's more on the website. I hope that you will take a look, and I hope that it'll help you. It's my blog website, and it's Amechi Performance, all one word, .blogspot.com. amechiperformance.blogspot.com, and there are at least one or two more principles for a better you there. I wish you the very best for 2010. I wish you the very best in whatever campaigns you will boldly attempt as this year moves on.